Um, welcome to Perpetue Robert Naturopath. We're gonna have our live 6 o'clock live, which is in English. For those of you that catch me, we have a French one in the morning at noon. We have our 6 p.m. for English speaker. Okay, we're gonna continue with our learning about the microbiota. Okay, so what is the microbiota? Is the microorganisms that are living with us. It include bacteria, it include viruses, it includes candidas, it include fungus, and all those microorganisms that are living with us. So okay, so I'm asking you a favor, please like and share the live, as we know that there's a lot of people that can get those information that can help them to better their health without sometimes going to, you know, some doctor or going to really you can prevent yourself being sick if you are trying to implement. The more you learn, the better it is for you. So I am at the same time sharing. I'm asking you to share also, and I'm sharing it right now. If you're catching me, please share the link. Okay, so tell me, how you doing? Have you tried to implement what we have been teaching? Are you trying to better your health? Are you trying to put yourself, to get yourself out of health? That means that to try to take care of that body that you have. Okay, so if you have any question, please feel free to put them in the comment below, as I am going to continue teaching you, helping you to better your health. That is my mission on this planet, to help you and to go back to nature. Use nature, because nature has put everything that you need on this planet for you to better your health. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a problem in the brain with the microbiota. So we have seen that the microbiota of the gut intestinal area is really important. In fact, it has 100,000 billions of microorganisms that is living in there. And those microorganisms, when they are not really well balanced, that's mean if, for example, fungus is out balance of bacteria or viruses or a candida, whatever it is, what's happened to the body? The body is become imbalanced, and we call that dysbiosis, and those dysbiosis affect the body in different way. And one of the we talked about other part of the body or other problems with an imbalanced microbiota affect, and today we're going to talk about how the microbiota affect the brain. And according to Dr. H. Xiao, there is thousands of species of bacteria in our intestine, okay? And that can even double the weight of an adult brain. That's how much bacteria that we have in our gut area. That means your intestine, you know, your digestive tube. It's really important. There was so much bacteria in it, and he had explained that the importance of the bacteria, the intestinal bacteria, in the processes of anxiety, for example, memory, and your appetite. Can you believe that? Not everybody will think that the imbalance in your microorganism that is living in your body affect your anxiety, affect the way you feel, affect the way you think, affect the way you eat, affect how much you're eating. So it affects all that. And some problem in the microbiota is responsible for a lot of neurological problem in your neuron, in your brain. It affects your brain. It affects the way you think. It affects even the way you see life. So, okay, so let's talk about the Alzheimer disease. That particular things or problem, it's touching 35 million people worldwide. 35 million people are affected by Alzheimer's disease. It's not something that is really it's not something that is really simple. That much of people are being affected by Alzheimer's disease. And yesterday we talked about, I'm sharing at the same time, yesterday we talked about our bacteria in the mouth, and we find that the bacteria in the mouth can also affect it can also affect your brain. It affects your brain. So when there is an overgrowth of bacteria in your brain, what can happen is gonna affect your whole system. Your whole you is being affected. Okay, your whole you is being affected. Okay, so it's affect the imbalance affect your memory. Okay, and Alzheimer's disease affect your memory loss. It affect your difficulty of speaking. It affect your understanding. It disturb your attention and concentration. It's loss of dexterity. That's mean, you know, some people they are Alzheimer. They no longer doesn't even know how to use a crayon, a pencil, and they even have difficulty of recognizing object or faces. Okay, and often beside those named symptoms, there are also behavioral symptoms such as anxiety. Okay, they have irritability. You know, those people that are Alzheimer, they are really irritable. They are disturbing their sleep. Okay, and their restlessness. All that affected when you have Alzheimer's disease. And the cause are not really known, but they say sometimes it's genetic, or they might have an environmental risk factors, but they find also that smoking, you know, there is some risk factors that are really common to Alzheimer's disease. They have smoking. It's sometimes a sedentary lifestyle, also dietary imbalances, a lack of cognitive stimulation. They find hypertension, diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, also all the risk factor of Alzheimer's disease. So it is, we don't stress it enough that lifestyle affect your whole self. Your whole self is being affected, you know. And they find that there were some plaques, there was the neuron degeneration that have been noticed in the brain of those Alzheimer's disease. And even some researchers believe that certain protein like amyloid peptide, which are produced by bacteria, that negatively affect the intestinal flora. Again, the intestinal flora come back, could contribute to the development of the disease. The gut flora is really important. That's why I usually put my client to a program where they repeatedly or continuously cleaning their bowels to try to rebalance their bowel and try to implement food that's not highly processed to help that gut flora. Introduce more fruit and vegetables in the gut flora as much as you can, and introduce more herbs also that are gonna take care of the gut flora. And that things, on the other end, the bacteria, they find the bacteria which are beneficial or protective for the brain by slowing the formation of amyloid plaques. Okay, so there is good, there is bad bacteria. It's an ecosystem in our whole self. It's an ecosystem, and we need to take good care of them. And how do you take good care of them? By adding more fresh, like I said all the time, adding more fresh goods, adding more fresh fruit and vegetables. People will probably feel tired. They say, oh, it's always the same thing. Oh, it's always the same thing. But there is no other thing. It's simple. Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine and let not medicine be thy food. So if you really take good care of yourself, I know some of you that is listening to me are already old, but if you are a mother, if you are in age of procreation, if you are in age of bringing up new children, bringing up children into this world, I plead with you, plead with you, feed your child good things. Give them good habits. And I know sometimes in the world it's difficult, but if you try your best to implement what is good, and hopefully it's gonna stay there, at least they will have a really good base. And especially if you're pregnant, to try to do your best to feed yourself good things. Okay, and with hypocholesterolemia, we understand. We saw that bacteria in the mouth also, when they overgrow and they go to the bloodstream, can affect your cholesterol level also, and diabetes. And one of the things that we had learned is that when there was an imbalance in the microbiota, there is inflammation, and inflammation, like diabetes, most of those diseases, of those problems, are inflammation based. They are inflammation based. So, and whenever there is an imbalance, there is inflammation that is producing. And Alzheimer also, they say, is inflammation around the brain is defined. They say also that is too much of sugar. In fact, some people are even trying to call it type 3 diabetes, because the body has their blood sugar so high, and even high so much in the brain that the lymphatic system in the brain cannot do his work as it should do, because it's trying to equilibrate, it's trying to bring back to balance the level of sugar that is going to the brain. So that's why we have to really pay attention to what we are eating. Try not to raise that blood sugar level, and to get it in a really safer place. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you have diabetes, but it just means that the blood sugar is being raised often and often. Okay, so if you have any question, feel free to put it in the comment below. The second thing that an imbalanced microbiota does is Parkinson disease. And Parkinson is a degenerative disease that affects the black substance of the brain, okay, which is the area that controls movement, loses its dopamine production. So the dopamine production, that's why sometimes that make us feel happy, make us feel good, but also it's affected your humor also. So the motor nerves are being attacked, so that the person starts to have a slow movement. Okay, they have tremors, stiffness of the muscle, and other motor problems are also occur in Parkinson's disease. We are talking about sleep disturbance. Okay, we are talking about depressive episodes. Okay, we are talking about also gastrointestinal problems, which are very debilitating, such as constipation, bloating, abdominal pain, and nausea. All that happen, and we can understand why is that happening, because when you have an imbalance in your microbiota, is affecting your digestive system, especially in the gut, your intestinal area. Constipation occur, and when constipation occur, the waste stay so much in the gut area that is affecting the intestinal wall, and then it got into putrefaction, and then it gets rotted, it affects the cells, and then there is thing that goes in the blood cells, that in the bloodstream, and that's how it affected the whole body. Okay, and that so they find out that all patients with a Parkinson's disease with less anti-inflammatory bacteria and more pro-inflammatory bacteria than in the subject. So people that have Parkinson's disease, they have more inflammatory bacteria. And what we're supposed to do is to try to lower those inflammatory bacteria, which are the bad bacteria. That's it. Which are the bad bacteria. Okay, so acting on the microbiota is an option to consider, because for now they say there is no cure. But as a naturopath, and I know that things can change. I know that we can be better and try to implement better habit in our body, try to implement a better lifestyle, try to change our food consumption will really impact our body for the positive. That's it. It can only do good things. So okay, so if you have any question, please feel free to contact me. I'm gonna put my link below. It's a 15-minute free, okay, a 15 minutes free consultation where we can come and talk together if you have any problem. Okay, so remember that an imbalance in your gut bacteria will affect your brain. Okay, we talk about the other problem that is affected, but it's gonna affect your brain in different way. And what you can do is to change. First, you can implement probiotic in your diet, but before you implement the probiotic in your diet, you have to make sure that those bacteria that we're gonna put in your body, they have a place where they can grow properly. That means prebiotic. That means construct a really good environment for the body. A good environment for the body. So we know that the first prebiotic is really fruit and vegetables, but there is also other herbs that can help us. Because when the bacteria is in an environment that is dry, they cannot grow properly, they cannot reproduce themselves properly. So you need a place where there is moist, where there is mucus, and that's why you see that a lot of plants or herbs that have mucilage in it, it's really good to help in your gut, to help those bacteria to grow. They make a really friendly, a bacteria-friendly environment for the gut. That's what we call bacteria-friendly environment. And dysbiosis in the gut bacteria can affect you in different way. Okay, so that's all for today. Perpetue Robert Naturopath. If you need any help, please contact me. Bye.